This is Podcast Audio's exclusive international storytelling event. You're listening TD Morley's 7 Days. It's the age of Aquarius for one songwriter. Featuring our guest storyteller, Carla Sevinate. Carla is an actress, screenwriter, and voiceover artist. 7 Days. It is a story to give hope and determination to those who follow in the hero's footsteps. A tale that epitomizes the elements of a hard and momentous lifelong struggle to build and to emulate the good fortunes of one's own peers and battling through obstacles that may have blighted a path to success. A romantic tale about the adventures of a lowly minstrel on a quest to better himself is recounted by the author who has similar attributes and experiences to the protagonist with regard to music, songwriting, and other general references that relate to the hero of this story.
The sun was blazing, like it could melt the earth beneath me. The waters of the Pacific Ocean trickled over my toes and caressed my aching feet, sending a cooling sensation through my system as it rolled further and further on from the flowing tide that grew ever closer and closer, creeping up very ominously all around the confines of my sitting area. It was late afternoon. Well, early evening, I suppose. I'd lost track of time. Really. The largest rhino with fresh orange juice and a few chunks of ice. The one I held in my hand was my third. I was feeling a little woozy. My eyelids were heavy. It was a sensational, glorious day. But last night's performance clung onto me like it was a bad dream. $200 was a good deal. Well earned, but it was my 6th gig in 7 days, and Sunday morning was a welcoming sight. The well-worn shanty that I was renting was costing me $200 a week, and the pressure was on. Children giggled and splashed in the foamy waves just a few feet away, building sandcastles, bouncing beach balls. Bald-headed Tibetan monks chanted and played their instruments as they passed by, jingling and jangling. With their singing bowls, drums, and cymbals, the transcendental sound echoed through the exotic, sultry California air. Magical. I thought to myself, but I was missing my girl. I would follow a dream. I thought I had all the attributes for superstardom. So, I have driven approximately 2,800 miles in my beat-up red Chevrolet across sprawling America from Washington, D.C. to California, and that took all of 7 days to traverse. Such was the intensity of my wanting to be a rock star. LA was a place, I guess. So, I left the only girl I truly loved. Not too good for the system I must had. My heart was aching. It was hard enough being a solo performer on the road, swatting it out in a multitude of multifarious venues across the great Northwest, missing my one and only soulmate. What a decision that was. Yeah, babe, I had said. I'll make it big, and I will send for you when I set myself up in a nice pad. Yeah, those seats really did land on the stony ground. The beautiful native birds were twittering in the nearby greenery. Shrubs grew. The roses blossomed, palm trees waved in the luxurious breeze that wafted in front of a mighty salty ocean. Seagulls quacked and squeaked as they swapped and swirled in the glorious sunshine that bathed the tourists and the locals alike. Semi-naked beauties cruised the sandy shore, smiling gladly, waving as they wandered by. It truly was a spectacle to behold. Bodybuilders were some way off in the distance, oiling themselves down, flexing their amazing muscles at the passing hordes of locals that cruised by on their rollerblades and scooters and tandem bikes. Joggers with iPods blasting in their ears threaded the sidewalks. It was life on the roll, oozing vitality. It's a stark realism of life itself. It's a unique heritage that signifies the aura of LA. There were jugglers performing with expert precision. A group of cheerleaders were practicing their routines from the oncoming games. Vibrant colored pom-poms flashed blue and gold from the LA Rams. Dazzling, seductive, high-kicking 19-year-old honeys distracted the pubescent young men who were hugging them nearby. Yeah, Hollywood Park is a place to be. I was getting plenty of practice on my guitar, that's for sure. I'm not the greatest guitar player on the planet, but I consider myself a great songwriter. I'm strictly rhythm, you see. That's quite important, really. It keeps the band ticking over. Like any rhythm section, it glues things together. Wannabes are two a penny in this world, and that was obviously tattooed across my forehead for everyone to see, so to speak. Loneliness is a crowded room, so they say. Is there a magic? A hidden ingredient that ignites, that springs into action. Sometimes it's a thing all of its own, and you or I may become the agent of that reaction. Or is it a development of a human progression? Like a natural inbred fostering, or through one's genetic gene pattern? I mean, it could be an accidental occurrence that manifests itself within a person. Then, there you have it. You're blessed. You have the talent, the gumption, style, the ability. You're natural. It's come easy for some reason. I work on my voice. I knew in my heart there was something there, a spark. So I put myself out there. Maybe to be shut down. Maybe to prove a point. Maybe it's just because there was need. Festering ways somewhere deep within me. Maybe it was just a good reason to fill up those empty spaces in life. But most people, not all I must add, have something to offer. Then they go on a journey. A self-demanding journey. To better themselves. To learn. To push themselves to the limits. To grab for straws and hope for that stroke of love. Or that one moment when you get noticed by a record producer or a literary agent or a theatrical agency. I was told I looked the part. I had long, flowing jet black hair that swept down around my shoulders. A slim, very athletic tone, muscular body oozed sexual magnetism. Red leather, Cuban heeled cowboy boots, and a multicolored paisley-style neckerchief set off a maroon Hugo Boss satin shirt. My swarthy Latin looks and dark smoldering brown eyes looked into your soul when I would sing. Wrangler jeans compressed themselves around my cute, pert, little backside. At 5'9", I was lean, mean, and feisty. The days of boozing, chasing the skirt and general mayhem were long gone. I've had head over heels in love, and now I was missing her tender touch and sweeter lips. I promised her if I didn't make the grade in the music game by the age I'm 30, I would go back east and start my landscape gardening business. Maybe we could get hitched. I was gonna give it one more month. If nothing eventful came about it, I would pack up and scoot back to Washington. Period.
Hey, this was T.D. Morley's 7 Days. It's the age of Aquarius for one songwriter. To know more what happened in the life of that songwriter, grab your copy today, now available on amazon.co.uk. 7 Days by author T.D. Morley. Grab your copy and know more what happened in the story of that songwriter. Link is in description.
Hey everyone, this is Ajay Tambe, the producer host of CritiAreas.in podcast. If you like this episode, if you like this story, if you like this show, please make sure you go and subscribe to our podcast, whichever platform you're listening on, Spotify, Google, Apple, Ghana, any platforms. Make sure you go and subscribe and follow to our show and connect with us on Instagram @podcastaudios. We are now in world's top 1% most popular podcasts. So make sure you go and check out our other series and episodes.